WIU, study abroad, Peru, day 7. So we started out our day at our homestay in a bigger village than Chacan, and we went down to the main house and we had breakfast, which was like a pancake with spinach in it, and it was actually really surprisingly good. And then after breakfast, we did some surveys from some people that were a part of the tourism association, and then we started making lunch. So Dr. Gamire and his wife and Peter all went up and got some rocks and some wheelbarrows and wheeled them downhill back up, and then we carried them and stacked them in the fireplace that our main homestay guy made a pit for, and then he heated up the rocks, and then the ladies got some guinea pigs and gave them a nice ending, and then they started putting things on the fire. So we first we did the assembly line to get the rocks up there, they heated them up, and then we put the meat on the fire with the guinea pig that was skinned, and then we put the vegetables and other stuff on top of the fire, and then they covered it with tarps, and then before the tarps, they put these leaves down, and it was kind of like seasoning, because I noticed they were kind of the same leaves that we use for our tea. Then they put tarps down over them. They covered the edges of the tarps with dirt to hold it down, and then big rocks, and then they let it cook for like 30-40 minutes, and they pulled it off, and we ate lunch. So we had chicken, we had some ribs, we had guinea pig, which I tried, and it tasted like rabbit, so it wasn't horrible, but I definitely won't try it again. And there was potatoes, sweet potatoes, these other potatoes that look like long carrot shapes that aren't as sweet as regular sweet potatoes, but still sweet. And then after lunch, we actually, some of the village ladies brought the items that they make up for us to shop, and I got 2 scarves and alpaca scarves that were handmade by the village ladies in this special dye that comes from a certain plant. And then I got some alpaca gloves, which are really soft and warm, and I'm really excited to use them this fall. And then I got a couple bracelets to give to people when I get home. And after that, we went back to our room and rested and hung out and just kind of chilled for the afternoon, got ready for dinner, had a really good time hanging out and cracking jokes. And then for dinner, we just had chicken and rice. It was pretty regular and nice to have after having such a adventurous lunch. And then we all kind of hung out for a little bit after dinner and went back to our house and stayed up really late. And we stayed the night there again. And for the economic part of the day, the village ladies had some really cool stuff, but they definitely charged more for it than being in Cusco, and people were willing to pay for it because they just spent, a day with these ladies, and they're really nice and sweet, and they don't make a whole bunch of money, and they live up in the mountains, so they kind of play into that. And I paid 50 soles for one scarf, bought another scarf, 50 soles, bought mittens for 20 soles or 15, don't really remember, and then I got 2 bracelets for 10 soles, and it's much more expensive than here in the city, but they know that you're there and that you see their culture and that you feed into them, so that they're able to charge a little more and you're willing to pay a little more because of how nice they are and how you feel for them. And that is it for my economics part of the day. And we are back at the CBC for our 8th day now. And if you want to see, this is off the balcony, and you can see the cool courtyard. It is super nice, but we are continuing day 8, so goodbye.